Hi friends. So we are learning about the globalization. Those who did not watch earlier parts, please watch them. So now you know that what is the liberalization, what is the privatization, what is the globalization. In this video, let us learn about impacts of globalization in India. So you know that everything has its own positives and negative impacts. Now let us see how the globalization impacted positively in India. Later, we'll know about the negatives of the this globalization. Now, if you see the globalization is that movements of goods, services, people, technology across the countries is called the globalization. Now, the positive impact of the globalization is that well-off sections, especially the rich consumers, those who are living in urban areas, their choice is improved. How? If you see the rich people or super rich people, now you can see the Samsung TV in their hall, the LG refrigerator in the kitchen, and also the Apple phone in their hand, and they travel in the Ford car. So this is the way how the rich people got benefited with the globalization. So, because of this globalization, the quality of products improved. Not only that, the prices also came down. The reduced prices with the lesser cost, they are enjoying the good quality products because of the globalization. So, in that way, their living standards are increased. So, next, how the globalization impacted on our Indian industries. If you see, our Indian industry also developed because of this globalization. So many industries came up, like the iron industry, steel industry, cement industry. Not only that, the cell phones, automobiles, electronics, soft drinks, and fast food and services. Many these industries came up because of that. We are able to create the many number of jobs to our growing population. This is the effect of the globalization. So jobs are created. Next, not only that, our local companies benefited with the globalization. How they supplied their raw material to many MNCs and they exported goods to the many other countries. So because of this globalization, and you see another thing is that because of the globalization, competition increased within our country. Because of this competition, our Indian companies to reduce their cost, they invested in technology. So because of the technology, the innovations, they improved their the quality. How they improved their quality? You know that joint ventures, they collaborated. They collaborated with the foreign companies. How? Example Maruti and Suzuki and Ashok and Leyland. So Tata Arsenal and earlier Hero Honda. Now latest you might have seen in the newspapers, Reliance Jio collaborate with the Facebook. Why these foreign companies are getting collaborated? Because they can this access to the Indian market. What is benefit to our Indian companies? These can get the money from these foreign companies and technology from the foreign companies. In that way, the globalization helped to improve our industrial capacity, production process, and this competition led to the investment in technology. Next, the another thing is that very important thing is that many Indian companies became the multinational companies. You know that multinational company means the company which owns and controls the production in more than one country is the multinational company. So many MNCs or Indian industries, though now they are showing their foothold in all over the world. You can observe that our Tata Motors, you can see many parts of the parts of world. Now Infosys in software company and Randbox in the medicine field. So many African countries they are using our Indian medicines. So Asian Paints and Sundaram Fasteners. These are the nuts and bolts they are producing. So in that way, this globalization helped our Indian industries or Indian MNCs our companies as a now they become the global companies. Not only that, another thing is that as because of this globalization, as our Indians are they are well at English, what they do because of their language skills, many information technology services improved. You know that outsourcing. So by sitting in India, you can get the job. For example, data entry. You can sit in India. You can give your services to the American company or any other company. So data entry operators, accounting and administrative side, engineering side. So these are helped by this or globalization. Next is that because of the globalization, the world became a global village. So it is now borderless world. It means you know that village in village what happens if any incidents takes place any corner of the village, it can be known within the minutes. Entire village gets information. In the same way, whatever the whichever incidents taking place wherever in the world, it is reaching to the all parts of the world within the minutes. What it may be natural calamities, or any in new innovations, or new development in the medicinal field or engineering field, everything the latest developments we are we are able to enjoy because of the globalization. So globalization has some positive impacts also. Now let us see what are the negative impacts of the globalization. Okay, now let us see what are the negative impacts of the globalization. Especially because of the globalization, our micro, small, medium enterprises they affected. You see, because of the competition, the many foreign companies they invested in India, and their quality of the product, color of the product, and price of the product, our Indian industries, our MSMEs could not compete with these companies, foreign companies. Example, in our textbook, they have given that Ravi, he was the making capacitors, he was producing capacitors, which were used to now in the tube lights and the television. So before this LPG policies, his company was growing like with the 20 workers. But when we allowed the liberalization, after that what happened? Because of competition from the foreign companies, the capacity of his company reduced. He could not compete with these foreign companies. His workers, number of workers reduced to 7 persons only. So here, what is the meaning of that? Flourish or perish. That's all. If you want to develop yourself, or if you want to when you compete with these foreign companies, then only you can flourish. Otherwise, there is no way you have to perish. This is the effect of the negative impact of the globalization. Not only that, so because of the globalization, many skilled persons like engineers or technicians, many people they got employment opportunities. Now they can go anywhere, any part of the world. They can move to America, Singapore, Malaysia, wherever they have the opportunities. You can go anywhere. But problem is that what about unskilled laborers? They don't have any skills. They affected because of this globalization. Many people, especially third world countries or developing countries like India, many people are uneducated. They have very less skilled people, and there are many poor people. Because of that, this globalization they not benefited. The rich and poor gap widen. Rich becoming rich and super rich, poor becoming poor and poor. So you know that money creates money. Why the some people are poor? Because they are poor. Because of this poverty, he can't take food, good food, healthy food, and he cannot give education, good education to his children. So that is the reason. Because of that, the poor become again poor, rich. Because of the rich, you have the money, you invest the money, you get the profits. Again, you invest the money, you get the profits. In that way, rich becoming rich and super rich, poor becoming poor and poor. So that is the negative impact of the globalization. Not only that, these because of this globalization, many companies they are not implementing labor laws properly. How? You see, simply they hire and fire policy. It means if in the season, if the labor demand, if they want labor, they hire the labor. After the season is completed, again they remove from their jobs. So because of that, many people they are losing their job security, the income security, because of this globalization, these global companies. Okay, if you may ask that why government should implement labor laws properly. Okay, if Indian government wanted to implement these labor laws very stringently or strictly, what happens? These companies go to China or many other parts of the world, because where their ultimate motto is that maximize their profits. So to maximize their profits, they cut their expenditure. So in that way, so if you are telling something to implement these labor laws properly, they move away from our country. That is the reason many governments also they are unable to do anything. So working hours are less. Sorry, working hours are more, but wages are less. That is the reason why China is attracting investments from all over the world, because their working hours are more and wages are less. Then flexible labor laws they are implementing. Infrastructure facilities are there, road connectivity, air connectivity, rail connectivity, 24 and 7, power supply. So government encouraging policies. Because of that, many people, many countries are moving to the China. So that is the reason, because of the globalization effect, you can't implement these labor laws stringently. They move away from our country. Next, the other thing is that earlier our state government or the national governments were very powerful. They used to decide their currency value, what the dollar and rupee, what is the value of the rupee in terms of dollar, actually used to decide by our state governments, our governments. But when the globalization came, what happened? Because of the globalization, now no government, state government now decide the currency value. The currency value is decided with the market forces. It means demand and supply. Demand and supply decides what is the rupee value in terms of the dollar. Now, next thing is that feeling of nationalism eroded. How the feeling of nationalism is eroded? So earlier we used to feel proud of our countries, own countries. I am American, I am Japanese, I am Indian. But because of this globalization, this feeling is eroded. How? You see, the Russian girl, the Russian women marries Indian men. So Indian person. So in the same way, Indian man marries the American girl. So in that way, the nationalism, it is the feeling of this nationalism is slowly eroding, and the our world becoming the borderless world. That is the effect of the globalization. The next thing is that the industrial sector, service sector benefited with this globalization. But what about agriculture sector? Many people in the third world countries, developing countries, they are living in their livelihood source is agriculture. But these globalization, these MNCs, generally they don't invest in the agriculture sector, because they want to get maximize their profits as early as possible, so with lesser risk. So agriculture sector dependent on many forces, the what natural forces, sometimes floods, sometimes droughts. In that way, so they are not investing money in agriculture sector, so agriculture sector not gain momentum. So this is a negative effect of globalization. Next, what is the other thing is that mainly the many cultures they are at the stage of extinction now. So how, you see, earlier we used to wear the headgear or dhoti or paisam, something in that way. Our dressing style, our food culture, something was different from these foreign companies or foreign countries like American. So now we are using the jeans pant, t-shirts. We are using the English language. Earlier we used to speak our own mother tongue, Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, so Punjabi, Gujarati. So even here, one thing, something you have to understand is that many people feel that if you go to Telangana, what their people tell, I don't know English. If you go to Tamil Nadu, if you go to anywhere, they tell no, we don't know English. But actually, in practical, we are speaking only in English. So what is, where is our local words, our mother tongue words? Road, rail, pen, pencil, book, everything is water, everything we are using English. Again, we tell that no, we don't know English. That is the problem. So okay, our point is that because of the globalization, many cultures, their languages, their food habits, their clothes styles, they are at a stage of extinction now. So languages, many people, they don't know their mother tongue. Sometimes see, even the Telugu medium students, the English medium students, they feel that we don't know Telugu. That is no situation now, because they don't know their mother tongue, they don't know English. That is the problem with this the globalization. Okay, next another thing is that the domination of developed countries increased. How? Because of they have plenty of money in their hands. What happens? They decide many policies. They are favor of these industries. So they invest in our Indian companies. Not only that, their media is there in their hands. So these developed countries try to formulate these policies in favor of the developed countries only. They don't allow our Indian products to their market, but they want access of Indian market. That is called WTO. Let us discuss about the WTO later. Now, not only that, another thing is that environment is getting affected because of this industrial development. What happened? They are establishing factories. In that process, what happening? We are polluting air, we are polluting water, everything is, or we are polluting soil. So, environment effect is very dangerous now. It is the biggest challenge to our leaders, our global leaders, to do something to protect our environment. So you can't sustain with these type of environmental policies. So because of the globalization, so the environment is also getting affected. So these are the negative sides of the globalization. So you know the positive side of globalization. Now you know the negative sides of the globalization also.